Is there really a limit to human lifespan?
You've seen the headlines. Humans will soon live to 150. The first person to reach 200 is already alive. They're everywhere, and they sound amazing. But here's the problem. The oldest human being ever verified, a French woman named Jeanne Calment, died back in 1997. She was 122 years old. And here's the part nobody likes to talk about. That record still hasn't been broken. Not in over 2 decades. Not by anyone. So which is it? Are we on the edge of living forever? Or is there an invisible ceiling? A hard wall written into our biology that no diet, no drug, and no amount of money can ever push past?
This isn't just trivia. This is the question that decides the absolute limit of your life. So let's actually dig into the science, ignore the hype, and find the real answer. First, we need to clear up the single biggest confusion in this entire topic. Because when people say humans live longer than ever, they're usually mixing up 2 completely different things: life expectancy and lifespan. Life expectancy is the average. It's how long a typical person is expected to live. And yeah, that number has exploded. In 1900, global life expectancy was around 32 years. Today, it's over 70. That's an incredible jump. But here's the trick. That jump didn't happen because we cracked the code on aging. It happened because we stopped people from dying young. Clean water, vaccines, antibiotics, surgery. We dramatically reduced child deaths and infections, so the average shot up. Lifespan, the maximum, is a totally different beast. That's the longest a human being can possibly live. And while the average has soared, the ceiling has barely moved at all. Think about it like this. Imagine a classroom of students taking a test. Over the years, the class average climbs from a 40 to a 90. Huge improvement, right? But the highest possible score is still 100. You can pack more and more people near the top, but nobody's scoring 130. That top score is the limit. And that's exactly what seems to be happening with human life.
So the real question becomes, why? Why is there a ceiling at all? Why can't we just keep going?
The answer is hiding inside your cells. Your body is made of trillions of them, and most of them are constantly dividing, copying themselves to repair and replace what wears out. But there's a catch. Your cells can't divide forever. Back in the 1960s, a scientist named Leonard Hayflick discovered that human cells will only divide a limited number of times, usually somewhere around 50, before they simply stop. We now call this the Hayflick limit. Once cells hit that wall, they go into a kind of retirement called senescence. They're still alive, but they stop replacing themselves.
Why does this happen? A big part of the answer is something called telomeres. Picture the plastic tips on the ends of your shoelaces that keep them from fraying. Telomeres are like that, but for your DNA. Every time a cell divides, those protective caps get a little shorter. And once they wear down too far, the cell can't safely divide anymore. So in a very real sense, your cells are counting. Each division ticks down a hidden timer. And this is the core of the hard limit argument. The idea that aging isn't a malfunction we can fix, it's a feature baked into the design.
But telomeres are only part of the story. Aging is really a pileup of damage on every level at once. Your DNA collects tiny errors with every copy. The proteins in your cells start to clump and misfold. And deep inside, your mitochondria, the little power plants that keep every cell running, gradually break down, leaking energy and waste. Picture an old car. It's not one part that fails. The engine, the brakes, the wiring, the frame, they all wear out at roughly the same time. That's your body in your later decades. And it's a big reason why fixing just one cause of aging doesn't suddenly make you immortal. There's always another failing system right behind it.
It gets stronger than that. In 2016, a group of researchers published a study in the journal Nature arguing that human lifespan has a natural ceiling of around 115 years. They looked at the data and concluded that pushing meaningfully beyond it would be extraordinarily rare.
To them, Kalman's 122 wasn't a sign of things to come. It was a freak outlier, a glitch, not a glimpse of the future. So that settles it, right? Hard ceiling, pack it up. Not so fast. Because there's another camp of scientists who think that wall isn't nearly as solid as it looks, and their argument is genuinely compelling.
Their core idea is radical. What if aging isn't an unchangeable law of nature, but a disease? And what if, like any disease, it can be treated? These researchers point to animals that basically break the rules. The Greenland shark can live over 400 years, meaning a shark swimming in the ocean right now could have been born before the United States existed. There's a species of jellyfish that can essentially reset its own life cycle, reverting to an earlier stage instead of dying. Lobsters produce an enzyme that helps rebuild their telomeres, the very thing that's supposed to run out in us. And certain tortoises barely seem to age at all, staying fertile and healthy well past a century. So clearly, biology has loopholes. The limit isn't universal. It's not some law of physics. It's just the particular hand humans were dealt.
And humans are starting to hunt for those loopholes. There's a whole field racing to develop drugs called senolytics, designed to hunt down and clear out those retired, senescent cells that gum up your tissues as you age. Other researchers are working on gene therapies, even attempts to lengthen telomeres directly. Some labs have already extended the lifespans of mice by significant margins. The dream is simple. Don't just treat the diseases of old age. Slow down the aging itself. So now you've got two camps staring each other down. One says the ceiling is real, biological, and basically fixed. That 115 number is the wall, and Kalman just barely scratched past it by luck. The other says the ceiling is just a problem we haven't solved yet, that we're loophole hunters closing in fast, and the first person to truly shatter the record may already be alive.
So who's actually right? Here's the honest answer, and it's the one the headlines will never give you. It depends. Based on everything we actually know right now, not what we hope, but what's been proven, there does appear to be a soft ceiling for humans, somewhere in the range of 120 to 150 years. Not a hard magical wall, but a zone where the body's systems start failing faster than we can currently repair them. Kalman's 122 sits right at the edge of that zone, which is exactly why it's so hard to beat. But soft is the key word. A ceiling that's biological isn't necessarily a ceiling that's permanent. The optimists could absolutely be right in the long run. The catch is this. As of today, not a single one of those breakthrough therapies has been proven to extend the maximum human lifespan in a living person. Mice are not humans. A promising lab result is not a pill on a shelf. The promise is real. The proof isn't here yet.
Remember those headlines from the start? Live to 150? The truth is, we genuinely might get there someday. But right now, that 150 is a hopeful bet on future science, not a result anyone has actually achieved. Here's where it gets useful for you. Because while reaching 150 is out of your hands, the version of aging you actually experience is not. The research is overwhelmingly clear on this. The boring stuff is the powerful stuff. Consistent sleep, real movement. Your body is built to be used, not stored. Not smoking, eating mostly whole foods, maintaining strong social connections. And that last one is shockingly underrated. Studies on loneliness rank it alongside smoking as a risk to your health. None of these will break the 122 record, but they can dramatically raise your odds of reaching your own personal ceiling in good health, with your mind sharp and your body still working. That's the real prize here. Not chasing some mythical number, but living the full length you've actually got and living it well. So the limit is real, for now. But how long that stays true might just be the most exciting open question in all of science. So what do you think? Is aging a wall we'll never break, or just the next disease we'll cure? Drop your verdict in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which side you land on. And if you want more myths busted with actual science, you know what to do. Subscribe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.